What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Double Coverage. Hope you're still living, loving, and breathing sports and cards. I'm Don, solo tonight, running with it. Just need to bear with me. Obviously, I haven't got my right hand man. Excuse me. So it's going to be a bit of a different feel. I think I've only ever done this once. Hello, Global. Welcome to the pod. Saucy's away on a trip at the moment, doing something, but he may or may not be a feature on this podcast tonight. So he's at an undisclosed location. This time it's his turn. I think we've only ever done the solo pod like 3 times in the 5 years that we've actually been running the podcast, which is pretty crazy, to be honest. Or twice. I think this is the third or the second time I've run 2 solos. Obviously, Saucy when he was on his honeymoon was the other time. And then obviously when I was away, Saucy had Manuel join as a part of the Double Coverage team. Now, just throw it out there. People listening to this in delay, obviously tomorrow, people that are going to join live, people that are going to go watch this from the start while we're going live, whatnot, and so on and so forth. I'm putting a lot of pressure on this guy, and he doesn't know I'm doing this. But would you like to see Manny join the Double Coverage family to run his own podcast on our channel? Obviously, he's not running his podcast at the moment, and Saucy and I are very happy to have him start his own podcast. Would you be interested, ladies and gentlemen, on having Manny coming to you live every week or every second week or whenever he thinks it's appropriate, but giving a bit of a point of view of what's happening in the American market? Obviously, he's over there and what he's seeing, and obviously giving a bit of his spin on the hobby. So if you're interested in that, please do drop us a DM. Manny's got absolutely no idea I'm saying this. He's probably going to crack the absolute shits at me. But you know what? When you're on top by a point in the Premier League and you're winning the triple or nothing high stakes bet, you can say and do whatever you feel like. So, Manny, let's wait and see what the people say. I think they'll be all for it. Anyway, big episode. Of course, the NBA trade line was just bananas. It was so quiet. We thought there's nothing that possibly is going to happen. And then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened. Starting with yesterday, just a whole bunch of stuff, trades went through. And I'm going to obviously bring up Shams. We've got to go with Shams. I'm going to share him. As I said, bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. Here's Shams' page right here. Very nice. Obviously, it started with this. There's probably a few other trades in amongst it that we've spoken about, but this developing story here, this bad boy right over here, the Clippers guard. Obviously, that was a developing story yesterday. That went bananas by the afternoon because obviously that was some of the biggest news, which we'll get to a bit later on in the sequence of events. Obviously, it started with that speculation and then it just exploded. So we had Jaren Jackson Jr. Teaming up with Laurie Markkinen and Keontae George, Walker Kessler and more, as you can see. Jaren Jackson, John Concha, Jock Landale, and Vince Williams Jr. were all traded to the Utah Jazz for Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, Georges Niang, and 3 future first-round picks. So that's the first one. So the Utah Jazz get Jaren Jackson Jr. Just to share this tab quickly, we're going to try and do this a bit different. Jazz is currently in 13th seed in the West. They are currently how many games out? About 7 games from the play-in. So let's see if that makes a bit of a difference getting Jaren Jackson. The next one, Chicago, Minnesota, and Detroit, 3-team deal. So Jaden Ivey and Mike Conley sent to the Bulls. Kevin Huerter and Dario Saric sent to the Pistons. Obviously, the Pistons are on top in the East. Then over to this. I genuinely think this is a nice trade for the Celtics, who are going to get Jason Tatum back at some stage as well. So the Bulls trade over Vucevic and a second-round pick to the Boston Celtics for Anthony Simons and a second-round pick. So good pickup for both teams, actually. Anthony Simons is a good offensive player. Vooch plays defense, good offense as well. So great pickup there for the Celtics. And, of course, then the big news was this bad boy right here with the Clippers trading James Harden to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Darius Garland, the second-round pick. Now, the flaming that James Harden has copped for bouncing around the league has been phenomenal. Thank you, Brett. Appreciate it. Thanks for letting us know that in the chat. So, yeah, unbelievable scenes with Harden moving over to Cleveland. Obviously, the rumors are, does LeBron go back to the Cavs, this and that? There's so much stuff flying around yesterday. It was absolutely mental. So, there you go. What do we got here? Global says, can't believe couldn't get the Giannis deal done. Got Puzinga. That's right, you sure did. Let's get to some of those other moves today. This was the big one. Dallas get a 2026 Thunder first-round pick and a 2030 protected Warriors first-round pick in the deal over here. So the Wizards get Anthony Davis, top 75 greatest players, add to their core of Trae Young, Alex Sarr, Keyshawn George, Trey Johnson, and Bilal Coulibaly. This could actually be pretty good for the Washington Wizards. Will Zion get traded? Says until the music stops. I don't think so. I think the deadline's done. Deadline will be done tomorrow. I don't think so. Done tomorrow in the US. It's the 5th here today, but it finishes tomorrow in the US. This one here, this is the new look Washington Wizards. Looks pretty good on paper. This was just a bit of a post of what's happened after the Luka Doncic trade. So Christie, Middleton, look at all these. The picks are the most important thing to look at here, of course. They got Chris Middleton, but have a look at all the picks. 2026 first, 26 second, 27 second, LA first, 29 second, Golden State first. Last time we saw a franchise do something like this was the accumulation of picks for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they are the current champs. So just pick harvesting at the moment for the Mavs. Maybe, just maybe, Nico Harrison was onto something. Maybe. Time will tell. But if the Lakers aren't shipping off LeBron at the end of the year, or LeBron's not leaving at the end of the year, I don't see where they can go with that roster. Luka's just going to get wasted again, in my personal opinion. Here we go. Here's another one. Great player as well, Kobe White. So him and Mike Conley over to Charlotte for Colin Sexton and Usman Dieng. So there you go. What's that going to do for the Bulls' hopes here? Bulls are currently the 10th seed in the East. Does Lobot go back to the Cavs or end at the end of the season? Well, they reckon it could be him Harden, and they're going to try and make a play for Giannis, the Cavs. But I don't see why Giannis would go play there. I still think he probably would land at Golden State. I don't know how, but they could make it happen. I still don't know why you did sign Porzingis, to be honest. But anyway, pretty silly. So Kobe White over there. We've got Chris Paul heading to the Raptors. Lonzo Ball was waived. So they sent him to Utah, but he's going to get waived. They were saying Atlanta Hawks acquire Jock Landale from the Jazz. What else we got here? Orlando trading Tyus Jones to the Charlotte Hornets. Considerations. And of course, this is the big one here. Golden State Warriors trading Jonathan Kuminga and Buddy Hield to the Atlanta Hawks for Kristaps Porzingis. So Warriors had Porzingis as a target for the last couple of months. The floor space. I just think Giannis would have been the better pick, of course. Like, all eyes are on Giannis, and then he just kicked the ball out to Curry, and he's just making it rain Just be easy money 3 for him. The Raptors acquire some needed size in the front court and use the space, staying under the luxury tax. So there you go. They traded Trace Jackson Davis to the Toronto Raptors for a 2026 second-round pick via the Lakers. And then the last one we had was New York Knicks trading Gershon Yubusele to the Chicago Bulls for Dalen Terry. And of course, the Warriors have moved on from Giannis Antetokounmpo ahead of the Feb 5th trade deadline. So sad news for Global and his Golden State Warriors and Stephen Curry. So interesting. I don't know if everyone saw, obviously, that an interview with Draymond Green where he's talking about how he's having a chat with Steve Kerr. And he goes, you always think in a business sense that you could be up for trade at any time and you never know. But this time it felt a bit different. He was talking to Steve Kerr and he asked me how my family was going. And he goes, that was the sign that I'm on the trading block and I could get moved. So tomorrow is the deadline in the States. So who knows? Could there be a blockbuster trade on the cards? I think no, there's nothing here from Shams, but Ja Morant's currently hurt as well. I don't know what happens. Are my Heat going to be active? Time will tell, will it not? So over back to how it is all sitting, and Detroit's still on top. The Knickerbockers in second. Boston, obviously, with Vucevic. And, of course, to get Jason Tatum back eventually, Cavs get Harden and remove Garland. Philly have Paul George suspended for 25 games for breaching the drugs policy. So he's out, way off P. There's the Raptors, the Heat, the Magic, the Hawks, and the Bulls. Of course, the new look Wizards are about 11 games out of making the playoffs. So they play 49 games, still plenty of time, still 32 games for them to somehow make up some headway on the Bulls. Time will tell if that happens as well. Then the Western Conference, Oklahoma on top there, Spurs in second. Then we've got Denver, Houston, Minnesota, Lakers, Phoenix, Golden State, Clippers, with the new formed Darius Garland as a Clip, Trailblazers, Grizzlies, Dallas, Utah, Pelicans, and Sacramento. So that's how it's shaping up. Ladies and gentlemen, over. Trying to fix this. So there we go. So that's how it's shaping up at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, in the NBA. That is all I have on the NBA, to be honest. Anything else has stuck out to anyone? Obviously, a bit of a larger portion on the podcast this week with the trade deadline looming. Obviously, still a few big names. As mentioned before, will Zion get traded? Will Ja Morant get traded? Will someone come to the lifeline of Giannis Antetokounmpo? All will be revealed hopefully tomorrow for all of us when we wake up in the morning here in Australia, but over in the States. All right, moving on, ladies and gents, to the EPL. We had a big round 24. It started with Brighton and Hove Albion drawing 1-1 with Everton. The Gunners slap Leeds 4-0. Bournemouth defeated Wolverhampton 2-0. West Ham defeated by Chelsea 3-2. Liverpool 4-1 victors over Newcastle. Brentford defeated Aston Villa, which was nice for my boys. Fulham get the equaliser late in the game. 3 minutes later, Benjamin Sesko to score the winner at the Stretford End at Old Trafford. And my boys get the 3-2 win to go 3 games winning unbeaten. We've won 3 games in a row. Unbelievable. We've got Tottenham this week as well. So Nottingham draw 1-1 with Crystal Palace and Spurs draw to Man City 2-2. So we gained 2 points on City and 3 points on Villa, which is pretty interesting. And then Sunderland defeated Burnley 3-0. games this week, starting on Saturday. This is all in Australian time for those that were wondering. So 7 a.m. on Saturday morning, we have Leeds versus Nottingham. 11:30 at night on Saturday, we have United versus Tottenham. Then on Sunday morning, these are all the 2 o'clock games. We've got Bournemouth, Villa, Arsenal, Sunderland, Burnley, West Ham, Fulham, Everton, and Wolves, Chelsea. The 4:30 game on Saturday morning is Newcastle and Brentford. And then Monday morning, 1 o'clock, we've got Brighton versus Palace. And 3:30 a.m. on Monday morning, the big one, Liverpool versus Manchester City. So there we go. Arsenal and City in the Cab Cup final. There you go. In the top 60 in EPL Supercoach. Well done, Global. That is awesome, mate. Hopefully you can just keep rolling along and get to the top 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, and win it. That'd be amazing to have a listener of the show win a Supercoach competition. And yes, we are in some fine form at the moment. I don't know. It's obviously a new lease on life, new manager. And as I mentioned last week, you just can't get ahead of yourself at the moment. United fans, just keep a lid on it. Just keep working away. Put your head down, bums up, and work hard. Just push through all these teams. Tottenham's the next one on the list. Beat them, move on. But spirits seem to be high at United, which is awesome. That's what we need. Hopefully, the culture can start to turn a bit. Instead of us turning on each other, we start working for each other. And of course, some other big news. The biggest news, of course, we've got to wish the greatest player of all time a very, very happy birthday. Here he is, Cristiano Ronaldo, the Sui himself. There he is. Happy birthday to the GOAT, who was on a holdout from Al Nassr. So I don't know if people have seen what's happened there. I think just all the best players were gone to Al Hilal, so he cracked the stats. He held the league to ransom, and I think they're just going to... I'm not sure if Benzema actually went to Al Hilal. Benzema, Al Hilal. Yeah, but he cracked it. I think he did. Yeah. Yeah, he went to Al Hilal, so Ronaldo cracked it. So I'm pretty sure now they've got Mitrovic, Benzema, and Darwin Núñez at Al Hilal, which is mental, absolutely mental. So it's actually cooked. What a team, man. What a team. So, yep, Benzema moves to a new club in Saudi Arabia, but happy birthday to Ronaldo, the greatest to ever lace the boots. Oh, bro, they're the best. Some of the Ronaldo and Messi AI clips are hilarious. Is global. They are so funny. Me and my mates, consistently when they came out for about a month, sent each other those clips. They are so funny. So funny. That's it for the World Game. Nothing else has really caught anyone's eye at the moment with the World Game. So next up, I think I closed the Instagram tab. We had another car reveal. Hello, Kevin from Lakeland, Florida. Welcome once again. F1, we had a reveal, the fourth last. So we have Williams. What's today's? The 5th. So we've got Cadillac on the 8th, McLaren on the 9th, and Aston Martin on the 9th. But this is the Williams car in question. Here it is. I think it looks amazing. So I reckon it looks great. Thoughts to those that are watching it, for those that are listening to it, definitely Go and check it out. I actually really like the Duracell battery over the ventilation shaft over the top of the car. Looks so good. The flooring looks nice and fat and wide. I like it. Makes the car look thicker, which is always going to make it look a lot cooler on the track. There it is. It's just really well done. Even the Duracell, have a look at it. It makes it look like it's burnt in, like a burnt in exhaust. I love it. Absolutely love it. Look at that. Looks cracker. Absolutely cracker. They got the Barclays there on the colours that used to be a bit like the Premier League colours back in the day with the lion. Oh, it just looks so good. I haven't given a rating out of 10. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. Sauce is going to have to give his call next week on the show. Williams, 9 out of 10 from myself. I think, where's that put that up there? 9 out of 10. I've got it above the Red Bull. Red Bull was 8. Oh, no, 9. Red Bull a 9 for me. So Red Bull and Williams equal first. Mercedes was an 8.5. I just reckon it looks clean, real clean. And testing was done last week. So Lewis Hamilton, apparently, according to Max Verstappen, looked like he was flying. Not driving, ladies and gents, flying, according to the four-time world champion. Excuse me while I take a sip of water. A lot more talking than I'm usually having to do, running it solo. There we go. Fix that up. Sir Lewis slapped on a fresh pair of softs and set the fastest time of the weekend. Classic Fezza move to build false hope, says Global. You know you're not wrong. Yeah, it's pretty G'd up at the fact that Verstappen said that, but once again, I agree with exactly what you're saying. You can't get too far ahead of yourself when it comes to Ferrari. It's the biggest pump up for the biggest letdown. So you just got to wait till race one. And all reports, according to all the bookies, gamble responsibly, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is that George Russell, your boy Global, is the favourite to win the World Championship. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. All right, let's move on, because next Monday we've got a big game. We have the Seahawks versus the Patriots in the Super Bowl at 10:30 a.m. start here in Australia. For those in different time zones, check your local listings for the kickoff time for that game. It's going to be cracker. Of course, Josh Allen won his first MVP. So congratulations to Josh Allen from Bills Mafia. Still spewing that they couldn't get to the big dance here to challenge the Seahawks. But I'm sticking with the Seahawks. I want them to win for Matty Cams, who's a good friend of the show. So good luck to the Seahawks. Patriots have gone pretty far. Who would have thought they'd be already back in this position? Not me, I'll tell you that much. Obviously, last week after our podcast, the biggest news story was Bill Belichick not being the first ballot Hall of Famer, and a lot of backlash for the selection panel there at the Hall of Fame committee. But I would have thought that he would have been the first ballot Hall of Famer, but they thought otherwise for reasons only they will know. So, yeah, very, very interesting. I know a lot of people saying if he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer, how are you putting Tom Brady as a first ballot Hall of Famer? It makes absolutely no sense. The two come in tandem when their time is ready for selection. So, anyway, he's not in. All right, let's move on. We're flying through this, ladies and gents. We're 25 minutes into the pod. When you have one side of the viewpoints, it does go quicker when we can't discuss things as the tandem. But next up, we had a big card. We had Volkanovski versus Lopez in Sydney. at the Kudos Bank Arena. And of course, we're going to go down to the prelims first. And then we bring up this. And here we go. What do we have? We had Jonathan Mikhailov submitting Oban Elliott in the second round. The Aussie. Love it. Jacob Malkoon won for Australia against Torres Finney in a unanimous decision. We had Cam Ralston, the Aussie, defeating Cody Brundage by TKO KO in the second round. We had Junior Tafa losing, unfortunately, to Billy Alekana via submission in the second round. And then to the main card, Killen Selkilled with the submission on his fellow Australian, Jamie Malarkey, in the first round. Tai Tuivasa was done by decision against Taliesin Teixeira. We had Rafael Fiziev losing to Maurizio Ruffi in the second round by KO. Now we had Dan Hooker getting done by KO against Benoit Saint Denis in the second round, which is unfortunate for Dan the Hangman Hooker, which is very unfortunate. And then by unanimous decision, and winner of this match was Alexander Volkanovski. Full fight. Here you can see total strikes, Volk, takedowns, 2 apiece, submission attempts, 1. Significant strikes, Volk striked him by 28 significant strikes. And he gets the job done against Diego Lopez, beating him for the second time and retaining the championship, which is amazing for Volko. Your Volk collection is looking beautiful at the moment, global. Very, very nice. Next up, upcoming, we have, is this it? Is the card? Fight night, Bautista versus Oliveira. So the main card, we got Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira in the bantamweight. We got Amir Albazi from Iraq versus Kyoji Horiguchi from Japan in the flyweight. In the heavyweight belt, we have Jalton Almeida versus Rizvan Kuniev from Russia. Then the middleweight belt, we have Michael Oleksiejczuk from Poland versus Mark Andrade Barut from Canada. Then in the bantamweight, we have Jean Matsumoto from Brazil against Farid Basharat. Hasn't got his country there. I'm not sure why. Light heavyweight bout, we have Dustin Jacoby versus Julius Walker, both from the United States in that one. And the prelims, we got Alex Morono versus Danil Donchenko, Nikolai Veretennikov versus Nico Price. We got Bruna Brasil versus Ketlen Sousa, Said Nurmagomedov versus Javid Basharat, Wang Kong versus Eduardo Moura, Moin Gafurov versus Jakub Wichlach. I think that's how you say it. And then the last one, we have Claudia Sigula versus Priscilla Cachoeira from Brazil. Hopefully my pronunciation was all right. I do miss Saucy doing the pronunciation, to be fair. So that's it for the UFC. All right, and of course, Hobby Talk. This is how we're going to change it up, I think. Hobby Talk, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Double Coverage Breaks. Oh, there we go. I know it says personals up the top, but it's got all our double coverage breaks. I don't know why I've gone all funny on the StreamYard, on the YouTube, Instagram side of things, but who knows? But there you go. Alrighty. Hobby Talk. What have I got for you, ladies and gentlemen? I don't have much, to be fair. Um, I do have Tops Royalty UFC. So here we go. Tops Royalty UFC. Here's Dustin Poirier Superior Signatures. Looks pretty good. Number to 25. Very nice. Who else we got? Mauricio Santos, number to 5. Carlos Prates with the welterweight here for the rookie. Is it a rookie? Yeah, rookie autos. Josh Van, rookie patch autos. It's a 101. I don't know what that is. What's that a piece of? Rookie relics certified. Gene Silva, rookie auto. Paddy Bimlet auto. And we've got a whole bunch of other stuff down there. So cards per pack 10, packs per box 1, boxes per case 4. It's 100 cards to set size. Release date February 6, subject to change. So in a couple of days' time here. Autos, rookie autos. Let's have a look who we can get. Carlos Prates, Gene Silva, Josh Van, rookie autos. Peyton Talbot, Renier de Ritter, Stephen Urseg, Vitor Petrino, Waldo Cortez there. You can get Anderson Silva autos. I'm trying to see if there's any Volk autos in the product. BJ Penn, Chuck Liddell. It's pretty cool. Daniel Cormier, Donald Cerrone, Georges St. Pierre, Jose Aldo, John Jones, Khabib Nurmagomedov, Mark Coleman, Stipe Miocic, Royalty autos. Anyone interesting? Bo Nichols, a good one, of course. Josh Emmett, Johnny Walker, Misha Tate, Tony Ferguson, Superior Sigs, Armin Sarukian. I just want to see, is there Pursuit of Greatness, Royal Precedence, Golden Hall, Alistair Overeem, Baz Rutten, Don Fry, Frankie Edgar, Frank Mir, nice, Rashad Evans, Wendell Silva. Royal Seal Signatures, Conor McGregor, Charles Sonnen, Dana White autos, Khabib autos, Jewel autos. This one I want to see. Cormier Bisping, Marab. That's not a good one. Not a good one. Dan Hooker, Justin Gaethje, Ian Machado, and Conor McGregor. Dual Irish auto. Nice. Paddy Pimlet, Shavkat Rachmanov. That's a sick one. Alexander Volkanovski, Ilya Tapuria, dual auto. Trips autos, John Jones, Anderson Silva, Georges St. Pierre. Then we've got Khabib, Umar, and Islam. Triple auto is pretty sick. Poirier, Gaethje, Holloway. Nice. So definitely go check that out, ladies and gents. If you want to have a look at the checklist, I'll chuck it in the chat for all of you. Bang. There it is. So you can all check that out. And yes, you know what? Let's have a chat about it, hey? Global says, have a look at Pac-Man. You know what? Surely there's someone on here that's outside of our boy Dan the Card Man, which if you really, really want to get a good insight into this story, you can check it out. But in just the brief context of it all, he was ripping on selling breaks on whatnot, and he was selling player breaks, and he was selling players at an absolutely ridiculous price. Who do you remember who the player was? Global. I'm pretty sure it was the I've gone blank. The Spurs rookie, and it was like $5,000 just for his cards. They were starting the auction at $5,000. They had Shaquille O'Neal for $1,200. So I think it was an 80 box break, to be honest. 80 boxes, and obviously people trying to hit. I think it was Dylan Harper was the player, and he was just like having a crack at the people, saying like nothing's been bought for 2 hours. This is ridiculous. He's since issued an apology. I wonder if he's said anything on Pac-Man. No, just an absolute scam. Yeah, selling it by players. Not something Pac-Man sports cards. I don't think that's him, to be honest. No. No, I can't find it. No, can't find it. Sorry, guys. But yeah, he was just pushing so hard and making everyone feel pretty uncomfortable on the stream. And people were saying stuff like, how can you sell the spots at this much? And he was just like, this is the best value you're going to get. And it's a whole bunch of crap. Stuff that at Double Coverage Breaks we don't plan on doing. Not selling individual players, because that is definitely, as you said, Global, a scam. It's either teams or type. If you're doing F1, you can actually do driver in F1 because there's 20. But I prefer to just do team constructors. But yeah, very, very interesting if you ask me. He's, like I said, since given an apology to all his fans. So we'll wait and see where it goes with it. As you know, in this hobby, it is forgive and forget. It is junk. It was Topps Chrome was the product. So to hit those autos, man, it's pretty crazy. The odds of hitting it. So yeah, unless there's anything from anyone listening that is keen, that's it for me for tonight. It was just a quick one. Get on here, 37 minutes, pump it out, get it done. And of course, Saucy will be back next week for sure. We should be back to regular programming on a Tuesday for next week. So please let me know your thoughts on everything happening in the hobby. Feel free to send us a DM, drop us a like, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, as Cage likes to say. And I might put a poll out there. I'll tag Manny, put it in the story. Appreciate you too, Global. Do you want to see Manuel on the page, on the channel? I know I do. I've raised it with him. He's giving me absolute crickets. He doesn't want to even answer it. Doesn't want to answer the question. He's just avoiding me like the plague. But I tell you what, you can't avoid the double coverage family. So you're probably going to get bombarded and pressured. Sorry, bro. But on that note, keep living, loving, and breathing sport. I'm Dom, not with the Great Man Sauce, but with the Great Man Sauce in spirit. Keep living, loving, and breathing sports and cards. It's double coverage. And peace. Getting part of the team. That's the plan, Global. That's the plan. Love ya. And leave ya. If I can find the outro, I'll love ya and leave ya. Otherwise, you're stuck with me till I can work it out. I got to change it back to the brand. That's why. There we go. Peace out, ladies and gents.
Thank you for tuning in. Please don't forget to leave a review on the Apple Podcasting app. Also, follow us on socials, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok. Talking all sports, double curve.